I never know. Isn't this supposed to count down or something? Hi, everybody. I yeah, I just wanted to jump on. First of all, thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. Um, I'm gonna try to keep this short, but it's probably not gonna be because anybody that knows me knows I go on my tangents and I talk a bit. So we'll it is what it is, right? Okay. But I did want to tune in and say happy Saturday and touch base with you guys. And yeah, I thought it would be fun. I wanted to show you guys this really beautiful, I'm in love with this deck that I have. I got it not that long ago, so I've been getting familiar with it and just loving every minute. And so I'll show you guys that. As well, I kind of wanted to chat about this reoccurring theme that keeps coming up. And when I was working with this deck the other night, um, and thinking about transformations and stuff like that, like this reoccurring theme it keeps coming up. And I've had several conversations with different people over the last little bit through readings and just casual conversations. So, um, yeah, so let's get into it. So I kind of wanted to talk about our spiritual GPS as it relates to our path. And this is a huge conversation, so I'm just going to talk about one segment of it. But our spiritual GPS, I like to call it, basically the path that we decided before we came here that we wanted to be on and what we wanted to accomplish as far as lessons in our path and what we were going to do. And the way I like to think of it, I like to think of that we had this perfect plan. We picked out our life, what it was going to be like, and said, okay, I know if I want to get A to B, this is what I want to accomplish in this lifetime. And I'm going to put these certain things in my place. And because we imagine it and say, like, okay, well, we can go this straight line, A to B, get there, hooray, everybody celebrates, it's awesome. Ta-da. But as we know, when we come here, we forget everything that we knew before because that's part of the whole point. Some people might remember some things or be intended to, but for the most of us, most part, we wrote that contract before we came here and said, I'm gonna forget the plan that I made when I was coming here. I hope I'm not losing anyone. I'm going to have a lot of videos, so we'll figure it out along the way, okay? Stay with me, hang with me. So, as souls, when we came here, we had this plan. The thing is, when we come here, we put ourselves in a situation because we've forgotten all of the things that we knew before we came, which is an important part of it. We've also been given free will here to live and experience love and to try to embody this whole love vibration and live that and just love more and feel more compassion, more empathy for each other in this life. And that's what makes it challenging, is because everything that we have to go through and we forget that, right? So when we go on this path, well, because we have free will, well, we can end up making detours. And I was talking with quite a few people about that are in transformations in their lives. And it's like, we know we want to get here to there, but lots of times we end up being sidetracked. Maybe we're sidetracked by a romantic relationship, a friendship, maybe a job that has caught our eye. I know for myself, like I'll talk from career perspective, like I had gone the long way around coming to do this, which what I feel is my calling. But I had taken a lot of jobs that when I was in it, I was like, I thought this was going to be great. I thought this was going to be what I loved. And I realized a part way through it, I'm like, it's not. And I had this real sickness in my stomach that I need to get out of this. So after you get out of that job, you're asking yourself, what the heck was that? Why did I end up there? Or why did I end up in that relationship? Or how could I have even thought about being in that type of a situation? And we kind of beat ourselves up a little bit about that. And some of us are still in those jobs or relationships. Sorry, guys, my phone's buzzing. But some of us are still in those relationships or in those situations or those careers that we really probably aren't going to be in forever or shouldn't be in, or kind of know deep down in our heart or are having that realization, I'm not supposed to be here. And you have that pull and you're just confused, and you have the tendency to kind of want to beat yourself up and be like, what did I do? Why would I do that? Um, and I said to my friend, I said, it's kind of like we have the spiritual GPS that takes us through life, um, from A to B, C to D, whatever. Um, but what happens is sometimes we go off on these detours, and that feeling in your gut is what's telling you and drawing you back to your path. It's your GPS rerouting you, saying, okay, we've gone way far off track here, and it's time to pull you back in. So that's a good feeling, and that's a feeling that you want to pay attention to, and that's your intuition. That's your, whether you want to call it your guides, your spirit guides, like your angels, whatever your higher power is. Maybe it's just your higher self, or maybe it's all of those. But gut feeling, whatever, it's redirecting you back to where you're supposed to be. And it can feel like we can have that moment where we're like, God, oh, this is just a terrible waste of time, or why would I do that? Um, and it seems like there was no sense in doing it all, and what a waste of time, and what a ridiculous detour. But I think that we know what we need, even though we have this plan of going A to B in the beginning, and that's the perfect thing we need. Because we have free will, we have different choices. And then it becomes really apparent that we've forgotten so much that maybe we need to relearn a couple of things. Or maybe there's a karmic debt or something there. So what we do, these little detours are actually very important teachers for us. And the way I see it, our spirit guides or angels or whatever you want to call it, will try to give us signs and try to help us learn these lessons and to guide us through. But oftentimes, we're living such a busy, frantic life, and we're letting our emotions be a little bit out of control, letting our worries and our fear, and we're acting from a place of fear instead of a place of empathy or compassion or love vibration for ourselves. And so what happens is then we make a mess. And then they're trying to clean it up, and they're trying to give us signs, but we can't see it because we're so busy. We're too busy. We don't quiet our minds. We don't take that walk where we can just kind of have a little bit of peace. We busy ourselves with technology and responsibilities and overdo it on everything. So what happens is then those messages are going to have to be able to shout louder at us for us to be able to hear it, or we learn it through a lesson through one of these detours. Okay. And I like to think of it like that: if I was in a bad relationship or a bad job or had a bad boss or whatever, any of these things, and you're thinking, what an asshole. Not saying that they're not, but what I am saying is that, I've come to a point in my life where I've learned to thank that person and to graciously get myself out of that situation once I realize, and to say, and it's not to say I've ever, not let my emotions get away with me, but I'm trying to be conscious of that. So I want, I'm in this with you. We're doing it together. So try to be conscious of those emotions and to gracefully get myself out of the situation. And I'm going to thank that person, maybe not to their face, but in my mind, in my heart. I'm going to forgive them and thank them for being, the terrible asshole boss or the terrible asshole relationship or friendship or whatever. I'm going to thank them because they let me learn something and know something about myself. Not that what they did was great or right, but when you can't hear your angels anymore, sometimes they're going to have to shout at you through demons. And if they're shouting at you through somebody who is going to treat you bad or treat you wrong, sometimes that is what I like to think about when, the devil card in the tarot, everyone's always afraid of it, but I always think of that, like that that person is going to push you and push you down and press on you and put pressure on you and keep applying that pressure harder and harder. The relationship gets tougher and tougher. The boss gets worse and worse. Whatever that situation is, it's going to get more and more pressure until finally, like, how much pressure is it going to take for you to stand up and know who you are and to remember who you are and to take your power back? And that's what it's all about. So if you maybe have forgotten who you are, you've forgotten what you're worth, you've forgotten your value, and you need that reminder, they're going to either send you some signals to do that. And if not, like I said, shout at you through demons, shout at you through these relationships where, and it depends on how long you want to put up with that shit, how long you want to forget who you really are, before you finally decide to say enough is enough. And I choose me, I choose love. Okay. And I love myself. So, so with that, then what we thought were detours, we realize when we come out on the other side of that, when we finally stand up for ourselves, when in the most polite way and out of love, like it doesn't mean that we have to smash heads. Although it's fun sometimes, so I'm just joking. But when we come out of that, think of like the tale about the phoenix. Like, I'm obsessed with the phoenix. Like, phoenix through the fire turns to ash and then rises again. And that's what that's about. Have to go through these things, these detours, these relationships, these dynamics and situations to be able to remember who you truly are. You shed all the lies that you've told yourself, all the stories. I'm not good enough. It's my fault. Or maybe there's something that you know what I mean? Maybe there's something that you need to know about yourself. Like, I wasn't doing good on this project because I was procrastinating, and dig into that. Why was I procrastinating? And maybe that's why my boss was an asshole to me. Or maybe, but even still, they shouldn't be an asshole to you. And that's where you stand up. You're like, then you learn something about yourself. You shed that victimization, that, oh, I'm a victim and there's something, I have no power. And you instead say, no, I recognize I could have been less of a procrastinator there, but that person doesn't have to have a license to be an asshole to me. So I'm going to shed that part of me that was avoiding that work and find out why about yourself. And then you let that go and let that burn with the ashes, and then you transform and you're the new higher version and vibration of your most beautiful self. You come on the other side with, hey, now I'm not that person anymore and I'm going to attack this. And if I see that come up in myself again, I'm going to face it in the mirror and look at it instead of looking away and saying, oh, poor me, I'm the victim. And you're also going to stand up to anybody that says, hey, I'm going to treat you bad. And you're going to say, no, that is not the way that I'm going to roll. And I have too much love and too much respect for myself to allow myself to go through a situation like that again. So that being said, I wanted to share this beautiful, gorgeous deck with you guys. This deck is absolutely amazing. I'll try to... So it's the Divine Feminine Oracle. And the artwork is by Lisbeth, Cheever, Gessaman. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. The deck is by Megan Watterson. And the artwork in this is so striking and so beautiful. I've really, really connected with it. And I love the Divine Feminine and the way that each of the cards, the goddess is looking directly at you and looking in your eyes, because she's asking you to stand up and bring your divine goddess forward, bring your Divine Feminine forward. So it's so beautiful. I'm going to just show you guys these cards that I want to show you tonight. I'm only going to show you a couple. This is reoccurring so much that I was like, there must be a lot of people going through big transformation right now, because these cards just keep coming up over and over again. So I'll show you the first one. Isn't she beautiful? So I won't go too much into the whole details of the card, but I do want to talk about it in relation to our conversation. So Ariadne, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing these wrong, I probably am. She's mistress of the labyrinth, and I love that. And you can see that labyrinth like right around her head. Oops. Trying to get it so sorry guys. I'm trying to get it so that it will focus. Oh, I kind of had it there. There it is. Yeah, that labyrinth right around her head and her halo. Like it's just or her aura. Um it's just beautiful. Anyway, she says my soul knows the way and the only way out is through. So in our discussion that we just had, the only way out is through. Sometimes it's not just about getting out of the relationship that sucks, getting out of the job that sucks. Did you notice that you're repeating the same mistakes over and over again? Why do I keep getting in the same relationship? Why do I keep getting in the same shitty jobs with the same shitty bosses? That reason is because there's a lesson in there for us to acknowledge and learn about ourselves, to have the opportunity. This is a repeating opportunity for us to become the phoenix, to burn, let all of those things from our ego or whatever untruths, lies, or stories that we've told ourselves that are not serving us anymore. They need to be shed. They need to go up in flames and turn to ash so that you can come anew. Step into the new. I just got goosebumps. That's what Spirit's saying to me right now. They keep saying that over and over again. Step into the new. They're saying align with the new is how I might say it. They keep saying step into the new, but align with the new. And that is aligned with the new that's coming out the other side of that transformation. So if you're going to just escape out of a relationship or a job without really kind of taking a look in the mirror and saying, you know, what is really going on? What is the truth? Am I the victim? Never the victim. Not saying we're never the victim. I don't want to get in an argument with anybody here, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying never the victim, but I'm trying to help us step into our power where we do have control over some things, where I say, you know, yeah, like I'll use the procrastination thing again, like, gosh, like, oh, my boss is always harping on me and you know, I never do anything wrong and I don't know why. She's just a terrible person and she hates me. Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe it's frustrating for her because you're always procrastinating on this thing. But maybe that's something that you look at for yourself. But maybe then there is more to that story. And of course, you know, they shouldn't be yelling at you or whatever. What I'm saying is, you can't control other people. You can't control your boss. You can't control your boss's actions. But we can control is ourselves. And if there's something about ourselves, so you're in a relationship that's just a shitty relationship, and you're trying to make lemon out of lemonades, as I feel like a lot of us are doing at this time, maybe we really need to look at that stuff and say, should we be making lemon out of lemonades? Is that something that we need to do? Do we need to fix everybody? Does everybody need to be our project? Like, is this what we need to do right now? Because maybe we don't. Like, maybe that other person needs to sit with their own shadow work and their own self. But what you need to know right now is that you deserve better, and that you've learned some things about yourself and you learned what is going to make you happy, and that you just need to gracefully kind of bow out of that. So again, Ariadne reminds us that the only way out of the labyrinth, the only way out of the maze, is to actually go through that experience sometimes, else we're going to be repeating those same situations until we learn. I love this. Akilanda, the goddess of never not broken. She's beautiful. There, you can see it much better now. So everything happens for my liberation, and I choose to become only more love. So again, she's kind of building on what Ariadne is saying, and that I love the never not broken part, because what she's reinforcing here is that our ego, we only pray that it's never not broken. Our ego should always be broken, always falling away, always moving and shifting and changing, because that's the transformation, that's the lessons, and that we're always breaking pieces off of that ego to be able to shed the pieces that don't serve us anymore, and that they go up in the flames and become the ashes, and allow us to let the past go, let those emotions that are holding us down and holding us back to be shed. Yeah, allowing all of those things to just move past us and let us to move beyond and grow. The heart, your heart feels like it's broken sometimes, I know. And you need to remind yourself and tell yourself, it's never my heart that's broken. It's not my heart. It's the expectations that maybe we've had that we put on someone else, that we feel and they didn't meet our expectations, and that's fine. That's their choice. Yeah, it hurts. I know. I've been there. I know what you're talking about. But that's them. I can't control them. That's them and this is me. But what I can control is if somebody keeps letting me down and letting me down and letting me down, okay? That's an expectation that I put on them. You're my friend and I expect this of you, and you're not. If you don't do that, then you let me down and I'm hurt and my vibration drops. We need to let that go. We need to let that go of, I put this expectation on this person, and it's not to say they're right or anything. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is your heart is not broken. It's the ego part of you that put that expectation there. And maybe what you need to just do is have your emotions and intellect, ask your spirits to help you balance your emotions and intellect, and say, because I need this realignment. We all need this realignment sometimes. It's just a realignment. But say, you know, I just don't want to be part of that relationship where I feel let down. And I need to speak my truth, and I need to be true to myself, and I need to let that go. And I wish you all the best and peace, and I wish all, myself the best and peace. And I need to let go of that expectation, because you are who you are and I am who I am. But I just know that I need to protect my vibration and surround myself with the things that I need that serve me, and let go of the things that don't serve you. This is a small little bit of a giant conversation, so we'll have lots more, but let's just keep this where it is. So the next one that keeps coming up is, I'm going to say this wrong, Thelsa or Thecla. And this goddess, this is so stunning. Look at her with her short hair and with that lion. And she's just full of fire. I love this. She's asking us to step into our power. She's the prophetess of true power. And she says, this line, I said this probably 20 times since I've read it. I call back my power from all times and all places. I am my own. Because and they've come up in this order, by the way. I didn't make this order. This is the order that they've come in, and they're literally telling us a story here. So the labyrinth, sometimes we just have to go through those experiences, and we just always have to remember those experiences that we're going through are for our greatest good. They're for us to transform, to us to know ourselves a little bit better, and to understand ourselves and know and bring more of our soul self, our true self, our true nature, our light being self, to bring more of that and embody that in this human manifestation, this gifted body from Gaia, from Mother Earth. We're melding them together, okay? And they're teaching us. Our spirit guides, our angels are teaching us. And what we're talking about, the next step, is we're stepping into that power. Once you do that, like you're making this transformation, and once you start realizing that this is the process, we start doing this regularly. We're stepping into our power in a respectful way without hurting anybody else, with all the love and joy in our hearts, and but just with a very calm nature, and to be able to say, I respect you. You're going through your path, and you're learning, and you're doing thing. And I have to go through my path and speak my truth. And this is where we are. And it's just stepping into our power. So, learning things about ourselves and others, and looking at others with compassion as we move through these stages, and at ourselves with compassion. So not beating ourselves up. What the what the hell did I do that for? That's why we're lifelong learners, and we're teaching ourselves. I feel like I keep not looking at the camera. I can't even see. This is beautiful. I just connect with this one so much. My mom would go on and on. I'll talk about my mother a lot through this, but my mother would go on and on as I was a little girl about the Black Madonna. And she was just really obsessed with her. And I used to love hearing the stories that my mom would tell. But the Black Madonna, beautiful. Look at her with the child. It's just gorgeous. So this is Our Lady of the Hermits. So there's all kinds of Black Madonnas all over Europe and everywhere. But this is the one that they've included in this deck. And it says, I can transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity. Sorry, I transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity of love. Isn't that beautiful? This is the last card that I have laid out. So we have, let me see if I can do it in order on here. This is how they've been laid out to me to tell the story to you tonight. And this, the Black Madonna. So we have all of our stages, and Madonna tells us on the other side of that, when you become that new phoenix, when you step into the new, when you align yourself with the new, all of that energy. If there's anything that we know about energy, it's everything that ever is, ever was, ever will be. Energy does not go away. It does not disappear. It just transforms. And when we offer our pain, our suffering, my mother's so wonderful for this. She does this all the time with the pain in her back. She offers it up for, imagine what a sweetheart. She offers it up. She's like an earth angel, I swear. She offers her pain up every single morning to others. She might send it out to someone specific, but she offers her pain to be not in vain and to be transformed. And she gives it to God. She gives it to her spirits. She gives it to her angels or whatever, and asks it to be given to somebody else for healing. I try to send my healing out to my mom as much as I can, because she is just wonderful. So, but that's what the Black Madonna is telling us here, that what you went through was not in vain, and don't let it be. Ask that healing, that energy that you've shed, let that be transformed into love for yourself and others. Okay. That transformation, that transformation that you're going through is a healing, purposeful healing journey that you're meant to go on, to learn and know yourself, and to bring yourself to a higher vibration, and to be the best version, the most highest version of yourself that you can be, embodying love, light, and joy. So anyway, beautiful, beautiful cards. I even love the back. I love the size of them. I have small hands, and they're great for shuffling. So I'll take a picture of this and put it in the comments if you guys want to revisit this. And I'm going to try to keep these talks to like 30 minutes. So I literally have seconds. So I want to thank you so much for joining. And I hope you guys are having an amazing weekend. And I'm going to try to do these every week. I can't commit to a day, working on that. Still on my mom schedule. So, and life schedule. But anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for joining. And take care till next time. And the light in me sees the light in you. Thank you.